I'm an engineer, so I'm normally used to create devices, but then when you see how these devices can help people and help understand the brain, this is very unique. I'm an assistant professor in the biomedical signaling system unit in the Department of Electrical Engineering. I'm also the PI of the Neural Bionics Lab, where we try to create technology, neurotechnology, that can support people with sensorimotor deficits and impairments and improve their quality of life. I was really passionate about the use of neurotechnologies and fascinated by the possibility to use this technology to improve the quality of life of people with sensorimotor deficits, but also to better study the brain functions and some of the mechanisms and the networks involved in the sensorimotor control.
So I discovered this lab and this research about spinal cord injury people and brain-computer interface because of Giacomo Valle, so my supervisor. So because of the research that Chalmers was doing on this, I moved here. I started as a research engineer because I was not sure to do a big commitment because PhD is a long path. But then I really liked the research we are doing. I like Chalmers, and so I decided to stay.
I was doing my postdoctoral training in the US at the University of Chicago, and I was searching for a university, an institution where there was like a strong connection between the hospital and the technical university. So I found here in Gothenburg a good ecosystem, very good ecosystem to translate research and prototypes in the biomedical field to something that can help patients and people. So with the Sahlgrenska Hospital and in particular, in my case, for people with spinal cord injury for our research. So it was 1.5 years ago. We started to settle in and create the lab. So now we are a small group, but highly motivated. So what we do is actually we create this and we exploit neurotechnologies to restore sensory and motor functions in people with different types of neurological disorders and reduce mobility. We use mostly three main tools. We start from trying to understand how the nervous system is working, in particular trying to emulate and recreate the network that we are planning to interface with our technology. To do that, we use in silico models where we recreate the brain structure or the nerve structure that we want to target with our interface, and we can simulate a different way to interface and to create the best placement of the electrode, the optimal link with the nervous system. So we can use this powerful in silico tool to simulate that. Once we have an answer of where to place the electrode, how to place it, we actually have our lab is divided in two pillars. One is on brain. So we have brain-computer interfaces that can be for healthy individuals to interact with computers or with technology in a faster way, just by thinking. But in our specific case, we use brain-computer interface to allow people that cannot move and cannot feel to regain some functions and some independence, restore them what we call digital agency.
We create this bridge between the brain and an external devices so that they can control this external device, which could be a computer or a robotic arm or a wheelchair. But at the same time, we can also write into the brain by injecting some current so that they can perceive sensation in the body. To do so, we use really tiny microelectrode arrays. This is an example of these arrays over brain. This is a brain of a real human being, so this is the dimension of our brain, and you can see that these electrodes are really tiny. And these electrodes are implanted in specific area of the brain, in the area that controls our movement of our limbs, and also in the area that process tactile sensations. So through this interface, the patients are able to interact again with the environment, controlling these devices.
Since this research, the first type of implants of this kind are for now only in the US. And so we have this cross-institutional collaboration with University of Chicago, University of Pittsburgh, Northwestern University to create this BCI program also here in Europe, in particular in Sweden. We target also people with upper limb impairments due to brachial plexus injury or nerve lesion or upper limb paralysis. And we can provide them with wearable technologies, wearable neurotechnology that can support both motor function in order to have use again their hands, but also to stimulate their nerves and provide back sensation. We really believe in this symbiotic, synergistic connection between the sensory and the motor system. So every time that we create a neurotechnology or device, we try to tackle both challenges, the restoration of motor, but also the sensory feedback. And in particular here in Sweden, I found a very strong support and from the neurosurgery and also from the rehabilitation medicine. So I think we can bring this technology and have the first implants here soon.
Meeting the participants and the patients is a really nice opportunity, and to talk with them about their need, what they would like to adjust, what they would like us to work on to improve the control or the sensations, and talking with them about the experiments that they are performing. So having feedback of our research, I think that is really important.
Because without them, we'll not be able to bring this technology to society. So this is really motivates us and the students and the engineers and the entire equipe a lot, because you see these people that are actually dedicating their life to these projects for the future and for the others.